Hey, Noble Ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking, and today I decided to react to Matt Walsh's video just to upset my haters a little more than usual. So we've got this video. I'll be honest, if I disagree with the man, I'll say it, okay? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I think he goes a little, but other times I'm like, no, he's based. So let's have a look. He made this video 3 weeks ago, and it's called "Self-Hating White Woman Licks Jasmine Crockett's Feet." Now, you know me, self-hatred from white people about themselves makes me cringe. Monumentally. It is what it is. I think it's one of the cringiest, like, performative, virtual signaling, like, one of the most, like, oh gosh, the cringe. But anyways, I'm not aware of this. I don't even know who these people are. It's a 5 minutes video. Let's check it out.
Stephanie Miller is a liberal radio host, apparently, and she recently met Representative Jasmine Crockett for some reason or another. So here's how that went. This is the caption that she wrote on X. "Why, yes, I did kiss the sneakers of Jasmine Crockett, and I do worship the ground she walks on. And she was lovely about it." And sure enough, you can see the photos there. There are the photos. She's on her hands and knees, kissing the feet of Jasmine Crockett. Literally prostrate on the ground before her, worshiping her, licking her shoes. And then you got a bunch of other women sort of standing around, smiling approvingly. There's one woman, I don't know, that woman on the bottom left. This woman has...
Oh my gosh. You know what I would say to this? I personally think black people don't appreciate that. Conservative or liberal. Why don't you treat black people like people? This is weird. Oh, this is so me, look at me. I swear, like, these days, what society... I'm gonna continue. Let's go. I said enough.
Gone insane with joy. She is so pleased by this spectacle of another white woman bowing before a black woman.
Yeah.
That, look at her. She's in a state of like a psychotic ecstasy over it. She cannot contain herself, and just pure joy at this humiliation ritual that's unfolding. I can't think of a better encapsulation of modern leftism than this. I mean, this is it. This is the most perfect photo ever taken when it comes to illustrating the leftist mind virus. You'll never see a better one. I mean, this is the four of them together, those 4 photos. A middle-aged liberal white woman on her hands and knees kissing the feet of a semi-literate black DEI congresswoman who isn't even qualified to be a waitress at Waffle House.
Of course, I don't know if what he's saying about the congresswoman is true. I have no idea. Generally speaking, I am against the concept of DEI, and I think people should be hired based on their merits and academic preparation, or whether or not they are the best or the fittest for the job. And if that happens to be a black person, it's a black person. If it happens to be an Asian, it's an Asian. If it happens to be a white person, it's a white person. And I'm strongly against the idea of, no, we're going to reject you even though you were the most qualified simply because you're white, because, I mean, that's wrong. It's just wrong. Here's what it is. At this point, you just, no, I'm against that thing. But I don't know if that's the case for this congresswoman. As far as I know, she could be extremely well learned, or she could be a DEI hire. At this point, who knows? I haven't got a clue. So I can't really comment on that. He might be right, he might be wrong. What I don't do is that some people will say, yeah, he's right, she's DEI, simply because she's black. And other people will say, oh, he's a racist, it's not true. What if it is true, though? So I actually care about the truth. The truth is not racist. The truth is the truth. So if she is an incompetent DI hire, then he's right. Full stop. But if she's instead an ultra-qualified woman and she's in the perfectly capable to do her job, then that's that and he's wrong. It's really that simple. At least that's my worldview. I only care about the truth.
Much less sit in Congress, and yet here she is. And amazingly, of course, these are also the people who claim that Trump voters are in a cult. These are the people these are also the people who go around chanting "No Kings." In fact, I looked this up, and unsurprisingly, Stephanie Miller herself, when I checked this, she has attended multiple No Kings rallies.
Well, you know what? At least we can say that they succeeded, because indeed, at the end of the No King rally, there was still no king in America. So, GG.
She has given speeches at No Kings rallies. So she's been at the front of the line, marching, saying "No Kings." And yet, here she is kissing the feet of a politician while claiming that she doesn't want a king. Well, if you don't want a king, Stephanie, maybe the first step is to get off of your knees, you slave. If you don't want kings, maybe remove your lips from that politician's shoes. If you don't want kings, that's the first step.
Yeah.
First step is take your mouth off of their feet. That's the first thing I would recommend.
It is so performative. It really is theatrical. No one appreciates it. It's nonsense. If you remember, it actually reminds me of that situation that happened at Chick-fil-A. I might look for it, but it was a similar virtual signaling dog whistle scenario. Look at me, me, me. We really have created a dystopic reality when a term that before was positive, anti-racist, now is a red flag. Because when I hear someone saying anti-racist, I have to think, does he actually mean, or does she actually mean that they're anti-racists, meaning that they're against all forms of discrimination and racism, no matter who the recipient is, or are they insane, radicalized individuals that are in fact anti-white? That's what I have to ask myself now, and that's dystopia right there.
You peasant. You serf.
I mean, yeah.
Bowing before this woman. And look,
Serva della gleba.
we as Americans, we do not bow before any man or woman. You know, it is disgraceful to do that. It's the most un-American thing you could possibly do. True. Americans bow before God and God alone.
Right.
But to make matters worse,
Amen.
You are bowing before the most mediocre human who has ever lived on the planet. The only thing impressive about Jasmine Crockett is how unimpressive she is. The most unimpressive nothing of a person who has ever lived. A person who is so thoroughly middling and uninspiring that in an actual meritocracy, she would not advance, certainly not beyond the position of like shift manager at Dairy Queen.
Music is a little loud, Matt. You might want to tell your editor here.
And she wouldn't even be good at that. Thanksgiving is all about gratitude, friends, family, and
Cool.
food. But between travel costs, groceries, and Black
Oh, really? No jump ahead? Not for Matt Walsh, I guess. Kickoff. Oh, it reminds me of a Amiga game. Super Nintendo, in fact. They ported it on the Super Nintendo, didn't they? Oh, man, that's a long ad. All right.
of the shift managers at Dairy Queen. But
Dairy Queen is good, though.
She's the kind of she's the one who she shows up when you ask to speak to a manager because they got your order wrong, but they won't fix it because they don't care. And then she appears and she has an even worse attitude than the employee you were just dealing with. So that's Jasmine Crockett. That was her real calling in life.
Is he correct about this or not? Let me know in the comments.
To be a Dairy Queen shift manager with a terrible attitude. Yet here she is. You know, that should have been the highest rung, and yet she reached all the way to Congress because the left, as we see here, worships mediocrity. I mean, literally worships it. As long as it's black mediocrity. They worship black mediocrity, and then, you know.
I mean, obviously this was done to say, look at me, I'm so not a racist. Look how inclusive I am. That's obviously what that was. It was a performance to show, and she made it all about herself. It had nothing to do with the Congresswoman, by the way, and it had everything to do with me, look at me, I'm so good. Am I going to be praised now? Did you see how amazing I am? You didn't do it. I did it. That's what it was. Again, if you're a fan of mine and you're black and we meet, for instance, at an airport, I'm going to shake your hand and I'm going to tell you thank you for watching, man. I'm going to treat you no different than anyone else. And you know why I said airport? Because it happened, of course. We even took a picture together. It was great. But this is nonsense. This is what on earth?
It's important to add that stipulation. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can...
All right, yeah, that was a cringe fest. Let me see if I can find the Chick-fil-A guy. I do like the chicken sandwiches, though. And I do appreciate it's a Christian fast food thing. I do appreciate that. They even stay closed on Sunday. I mean, I like that. But that was a cringe moment. Chick-fil-A, is he a CEO? Polish shoes, yeah. Polish or Polish? I don't know at this point. Depends. If they were they leather shoes? Chick-fil-A CEO, let's go.
Moments here, but a story that was shared with me by a dear friend who shared with me about a revival that was taking place at a church in Texas. And at that revival on the front seat was an older African American man that was sitting there. And this young man got up that was there in that service, and he'd been so gripped with conviction about the racism that was in that local community in a small town in Texas that he took a shoe brush And he walked over to this elderly gentleman, and he knelt on his knees and began to shine his shoes. And tears began to flow in that service. It was an attitude of conviction. So I invite folks to put some words to action here. And if we need to find somebody that needs to have their shoe shine, we need to just go right on over and shine their shoes. And whether they got tennis shoes on or not, maybe they got sandals on, it really doesn't matter. But there's a time in which we need to have, some personal action here. Maybe we need to give them a hug too, brother.
And some stock in Chick-fil-A.
And some stock in Chick-fil-A. My man, he read it perfectly, all the way through. And some stock in Chick-fil-A, he said. Right? Just treat him like another guy. Just treat him normal.
But I bought about 1,500 of these, and I gave to all our Chick-fil-A operators and staff a number of years ago. And so any expressions of a contrite heart, of a sense of humility, a sense of shame, a sense of embarrassment.
A sense of shame and embarrassment? I'm sorry, for what? That's not even Christian doctrine at this point. Again, I don't know anything about this man. Maybe he's a fantastic man, but this one, I'm not going to judge a person because of one misstep. You see, this is wrong. Because even though the teaching of humility, the teaching of we are all children of the Almighty, He's the only one, that kind of stuff. Yeah, sure, that's fine. But the reason why this is out of place is because we live in a time when there are strong political forces that tell specifically white people that we have to be ashamed of who we are, ashamed of our culture, ashamed of our nation, ashamed of our history, ashamed of everything we've ever done, while at the same time we're told that white people don't exist and that white culture doesn't exist. How that works, beyond me. And white students at university are forced to stand up and apologize for chattel slavery to black students, indiscriminately, by the way. I know of an Italian who was asked to do that. And I'm like, what the heck does a fellow Italian have anything to do with chattel slavery in the United States anyways? So it's like, whenever they say white people don't exist, they say, no, there are Italians, there are French, there are Germans, because then the point is white people don't exist, but black people do, which makes no sense. I'll tell you why in a second. But then when it's interesting to them, all that matters is this. It's like, oh, if the skin is light, then yeah, they're white. And so at that point, you have to apologize as well for what other white people did, because you're all one group. And it's crazy because at this point, if you're really going to use, by the way, the fact that a French, a German, a Nordic, an Italian, an Englishman, a German, and white American, we're all different culturally, we look different, the immutable characteristics that defy us when it comes to our looks and the color of our hair and the face and all that, if you say that we shouldn't, it's nonsense to call us all white because of that, then even more so, it's nonsense in Africa, because Africa, believe it or not, for people who actually study the biodiversity of our species, is the one place with the highest degree of phenotypic traits in the entirety of planet Earth. And I know that this might sound strange, because it's like, but wait, but white people have got like green eyes and blue eyes and blonde hair and brown hair and red hair. Right. Yeah, for the colors like that. But phenotypic trait is not just these two factors. There are a lot of aspects that change, and Africa is the one place that has a lot of phenotypic variance, which is why it's one of the places that it's used to study specific areas of biodiversity on the planet. But this is not about logical consistency, is it? So it is out of place, in my opinion. It's extremely performative, and it looks like you don't actually mean it. You're doing it for the image of the company, because there is a company behind it and there is money to be made. If you really wanted to do that, by the way, one, I would have done it for everyone, like Jesus did. Jesus didn't just polish one apostle's shoes. Everyone. Do it for white people, black people, don't even matter at that point. Don't look at the race. No, you made it racial, first thing, which is not the message of Jesus. We're all the same for him. You made it racial. Second, do it when the cameras are off. And if you do a beautiful, and if it feels sincere, people will say it anyways. But he's doing it specifically because of that. And so I didn't appreciate that. What Matt Walsh just showed us kind of reminded me this. But without further ado, with that being said, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Just treat people normally. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.